Ooh, okay, so we're back. Steins Gate 0. We're very, 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 very close of getting 100%. Guess who's back? Back again. A goes back. Tell a friend. Degen, welcome back. just like you prophesized. You have returned. How was your day been, Degen? I got lots of rest. I can't wait to see what happens. We might get an ending this stream. Well, this morning stream. I'll be back tonight. Just watching and playing. Oh, okay. Nice, nice. Yeah. I feel like we're close. Then again, like I told you, the first time I played this game, I sunk 9 hours in straight, and I was like, I feel like I'm close. And then it didn't happen, and then I read for like 2 hours, and I was like, I swear, I feel like we're close this time, for reals. And I read 2 more hours. And then I was gonna call it a night, and then I was like, the story, I feel like we're close. So I read 2 more hours. And that continued for a full 9 hours. How different are the endings though? Oh, they're crazy different. They are... the first Steins Gate, they're like, well, I don't want to say they are different. They're unique. They don't have like crazy, like, oh my god, instead of marrying the Bachelorette, he married the Bachelor. Nothing crazy like that, but they focus on certain characters. Like, from what I've seen, one ending was solely focused on one character, Maho, the little girl with the avatar profile picture at the arcade. She got an ending dedicated to her. There was another ending dedicated to Kagari, which is Mayuri's daughter from the future. She got like an ending all about her. I got another ending about changing the past and fixing the future. So that one was like setting up to like get the actual ending that I want to get. So they're really cool. They're completely standalone for the most part, aside from the one I got 2 streams ago, which was like, hey Ego, this isn't the ending you want, go back and do it again. The people deserve a happy ending. And I was like, you got it, video game. Hey Arc Boba Fett, welcome to the stream. Have you got your breakfast ready? So I'm going to be doing some early morning reading. Finally on time. Things are finally, we're close, I feel. Yeah, with the grrr. Hope you're doing well. Yeah. So they're pretty unique. They're pretty different. Either way, it's like a... Did you have a drink before the stream? I haven't. I just got up. I have water here and a Gatorade if I need it. Alright, I should sound a little bit better now. I cleared my throat. Hopefully you didn't hear that. If everything went according to plan, all you heard was music. But, okay. So I'm feeling better now. We won't go too crazy. About 3 hours, maybe 4, depending on how the story goes. Again, if I feel we're gonna end, I'll push. If not, then there'll be more tonight, but... You always sound good. Aw, thank you. That means a lot. I try my best. But you 3 get a gold star for being here, chatting with me, ready for the next episode of Reading Ego. What? Compliments get rewarded. Showing up on time, being present, gets rewarded. Okay, so... let's see, what I want to do is... just double check the stream. Last night, I had, like, wonky internet. I don't know why. It seems to be good, so I'm just making sure. Oh, thank you. I gotta redeem these two. That's also what I wanted to do. Thank you, T-Chen. Hydrate, which I did. And let me give a good morning stretch. Oh, man. I could use one. I definitely have to do, like, a stretch before I stream and after I stream, in addition to during stream. It helps out so much. Oh, thank you. Okay. Oh, I noticed something new. Never seen that. Oh. What did you notice? Please, do tell. The stretch thingy. Oh yeah. It's new. There's some new... I was waiting for someone to find it. Secrets. There might be new ones also. I love the stretch. Okay. Oh man. I really love it. Okay. I'm ready. I've done my stretch. I have hydrated myself. I've prepared my voice. We're ready. Let's see this thing through to its dramatic conclusion, hopefully. Alright. Here we go. Okay, so for everyone that missed last night's stream, well, technically it was last evening's. Cliff notes. Russia started tampering with the timeline. They started doing experiments that changed the world, resulted in World War III, the precursor to World War III. And a lot of people have this ability called a Reading Steiner, where their memories of previous timelines, they retain them, are fragments of them. So they're calling it the next, like, disease pandemic. And the world's like, we gotta keep an eye on this. There's like a sickness going around, but it's really just people retaining memories from previous timelines, which normally isn't supposed to happen. The first Steins Gate, it's like, I guess only Okabe had Reading Steiner, where he can remember everything from past timelines. So I guess other people have it, just not as powerful as him. It's kind of like deja vu. If you've ever had deja vu, this game treats that like you're looking at a different timeline of things he could have done or did do. So very interesting. What else happened? Oh, we've focused on Daru, Suzuha, Yuki, their family. Deja vu. I've just been at this place before. Yes. I haven't gotten deja vu in a long time, but I used to get it all the time as a kid. Like, I once like spent an entire summer researching it because I was convinced, like, I've had it like 2 to 3 times in my life. Oh man. I've had it like, I don't know, maybe like 50 to 100 times. It's crazy. Or maybe that's a little too, I don't know. Maybe like 25 to 50 times in my life I've had it. I used to have it like all the time. But yeah, so literally, I don't know. I'd always go on trips and do things, and I'm like, I've seen this before. I've been here before, and yeah. So, I mean, I didn't I didn't force myself to have it. I just like this experience, but different. Right? Yeah. So it's interesting. Not so much now. Like the past decade, it's kind of like dropped like tremendously, but growing up, like my early childhood, maybe like my teenage years, for sure, like all the time I would get it. And all the time is like, I don't know, like a few times a year. But yeah, so before we begin reading, I'd like to say that Maho, which is my in-game waifu's best friend, we went on like a pseudo date. Amadeus, the AI of my deceased waifu, is trying to hook us up. And I won her a stuffed animal, and now I'm taking her to the building where she passed away. So this is probably going to be very traumatic. We're about to get into some real drama, so let's see how this unfolds. But I'd gone up to the roof several times since then. The time machine was there. Suzuha and Dara would go up once in a while to do maintenance. A few days ago, Suzuha had called me out there, pointed a gun in my face. Yep, get your tissues out. But even so, never been to that storeroom on the 8th floor where it had happened. I couldn't bring myself to do it. Just remembering what happened was enough to cause a severe flashback. There was no way I could visit the site of her death. You okay? You look really pale. Are you thinking about Kurisu? Yeah, I guess so. Frollo! Thank you for hosting. Welcome to the stream! Good morning / afternoon. You're just in time. I did my cliff notes, my Dragon Ball Z previously on reading Ego. So you haven't really missed anything. I'm about to go to the building where Makase Kurisu passed away. So it's about to get kind of sad. So get your tissues ready for the eventual tears. You don't have to come with me if it's going to be too hard for you. I'll go by myself. But her face was colorless. Going there had to be hard on her too. Even so, she was trying to come to grips with Kurisu's death. I wanted to help her remember our friend. The radio building was going to be renovated. If it gets sad, get the hug out too. Oh, definitely. There's going to be hugs all around. We're here for each other. We are our own support system. There wasn't a lot of time. No. I'll go with you. Half of the shops had already been moved to another building to make way for the renovation. Many of the shops on the 7th floor were still open. 6 months ago, on July 28th, I killed Kurisu on the floor just above where I was standing. My own hands. Oh damn. Yeah, it's true. And he's being a little too hard on himself. He actually didn't kill her. Her dad killed her. He was just there to see it happen, and he couldn't do anything to stop it, so he blames himself. Is this the place? No, it happened on the next floor. That's what I was told. Supposed to have been at the scene of Kurisu's death. But he asked Mayuri and Daru not to tell anyone. It's upstairs. An event hall, some storerooms and stuff. Can we go up there? It should be off limits right now. The rope that always blocked off the way to the 8th floor wasn't there today. I could hear loud voices and laughter from above. Since it was a day off, there must have been some kind of event going on upstairs. Looks like it's okay. Maho headed up the stairs first. Slowly dragged myself up the stairs. We passed by the event hall and into the back. It looked like there was no one around. Nothing had changed in 6 months. This is it. There were no lights on. The place seemed dark and lonely. This time, the storeroom was locked. I see. So it was a place like this. I see her lips trembling as she whispered. It seemed strange. This was the place where Kurusu had died, covered in blood, and yet, nearby, the rest of the world continued on like it didn't care. Now I'd come back, even though this was where the one I had loved had died. It's frustrating. I'm not a physicist, so I don't know all there is to know about relativity theory, but if space and time are essentially the same thing, then why can't we move through time as easily as we can move through space? Spatiality. We're on the same axis as Kurusu's death. That tiny little gap on the temporal axis means there's nothing we can do about it. You asked Kurusu, I mean Amadeus Kurusu, an interesting question before. Whether it was possible to create a time machine. Yeah. I'd love it if you could look into it. I'd volunteer for the first named test. I couldn't tell from the tone of her voice if it was serious or joking. She laughed, sadly. Time machines are real, you know. There's one right above us. What'd she do if I told her that? Would she blame me for giving up on saving Kurusu? And say she'd go back to the past herself? Okabe, can you tell me about how Kurusu died? I don't know the details. I don't really know myself. Did I tell you that before? You know more than I do, right? I was in America. What was Kurusu doing in a place like this? On the day she died, there was an event going on like the one happening now, right? You'd hear the occasional sounds of laughter coming from the event hall. Dr. Nakabachi made the news last summer. I heard that he sought asylum in Russia, and he wrote a paper on time machines. Supposedly, the paper itself was terrible. But that made me remember something. Those guys who set fire to Kurusu's house in America were speaking Russian. Is that a coincidence, you think? I think the two events are connected somehow. I decided to look into Dr. Nakabachi, but strangely, there's barely information on him. If you look online, you won't even find his real name. Most blogs and websites that talk about Dr. Nakabachi are gone now. All of them disappeared in the last 6 months. Tell me, what the hell was Kurusu caught up in? Is it perhaps still going on? Are you hiding something? Her eyes were pure and sought the truth. Kurusu used to get that exact same look in her eyes all the time. But couldn't get involved out of curiosity. Done with all this. It's too late. I'm already involved. And I've been wondering if the reason we were attacked before wasn't because of me. Because of you. Is there a reason someone would come after you? Then she paused for a moment. I have some of Kurusu's belongings. Belongings? Some of Kurusu's belongings? What does she mean? Maho had said that after Kurusu died, she'd gone to her home in America and received some of her belongings from her mom. Saying now that the attack was because of that? My mind began to race. Russia. Dr. Nakabachi had sought asylum. The people who attacked Kurusu's home spoke Russian. A few days ago, the Russians probably had experimented with changing the past. Suzuha said that World War III would be set off by the time machine. The time machine. Nakabachi's paper. Paper written about the time machine. Cause of the Third World War. Miraculous nightmares paper, which would cause the deaths of 5.7 billion people. Jane had discussed at its press conference was a ripoff of John Teeter's. One in his paper was different. I'd never managed to read it though. My guess was that Kurisu had showed him the original that she had written on July 28th, and his paper was an inferior copy. Kurisu had written down instructions for making a time machine. I shuddered. I quickly booted up the Ryan program on my smartphone. Paged through my chat logs. The hard drive in the laptop contained the data for the original version of Nakabachi's paper. Kurisu's paper. Kurisu's laptop and hard drive, which were given to Daru. The person who gave them to him? Looked at Maho. She looked back at me without smiling. Nodded. Yeah, it was me. Ooh. Were we supposed to get that? Yeah, sorry. It's... Hydration break? It's a lot from the first game. Time travel. John Teeter is actually Suzuha, Daru's daughter from the future. Makase Kurisu is the one who invented time travel. And because she's dead, other people are trying to invent it and take her work. Wait. Again, it's a whole thing, D-Gen. I definitely have to link you to my full read-through. It's an adventure. John Teeter? That guy? Yeah, that was Suzuha the entire time. From Maho's perspective, there were too many things about Kurisu's death that didn't make sense. Bruh. Right? Psh, mind blown. Maybe that was why she had decided to look into why Kurisu was killed. Or she'd assumed there were hints hidden inside her laptop and hard drive. My hypothesis was right. That laptop was too dangerous to be allowed to exist. Dora's box, with the power to unleash the Third World War. Why didn't you tell me? At first, I didn't know that you and Hashida were friends. It was really just a coincidence that I gave it to him. And it seemed to me like you were hiding something about Kurisu. You really think I'd tell you everything? It wasn't that hard. I didn't trust you, but I thought it would be best to be cautious when it came to Kurisu. Yeah, you were right about that. Letting me test Amade as part of your plot? Don't call it a plot. You were Kurisu's friend. I just wanted to know more about you. Find Kurisu's secrets? Wanted to know more about her. She glared right back, as if challenging me. Has Daru cracked it yet? Not yet. That's why I wanted to talk to you before I headed back to America. That's why she brought me here. Need to call Daru, right now. Phone or Ryan, which was better? It's weird that Kurisu is like dead. This whole story. It's like when they make the next Avengers movie, but Cap and Tony not there. Oh yeah. Although, excuse me. Although she has been in the story, there was a world line where she was alive, and she sacrificed herself again. It's the hardest thing. It was heartbreaking. It really was heartbreaking. One of the saddest things I've ever read in my entire life. Yes? Hello? You at the lab now? No break. Aw. Thank you, D-Gen. It really was. That was... Seeing her alive after all the drama and sadness that I was reading, I was like, yes, I'll win, finally. And then she was like, you have to let me go. No! I can't. I don't know how you're gonna keep everyone alive and prevent World War III. I know. I honestly don't know either. But my previous self from a different world line is like, don't give up. It can be done. So, I gotta listen to future past me. When there's a will, there's a way. You at the lab now? Huh? No. And where are you? At home. Fapping to H games. What's up? Oh my god. Well, that's Daru. He's the gentleman's pervert after all. Where there's a will, there's a this is me. Oh, you gotta love Daru. He never sugarcoats anything. He's himself all the way to a fault. I want to talk to you about your part-time job. Oh, that? You remember any info on Makaseshi? Yeah. Of course, that was a lie. I'd be in danger if I didn't get the laptop back right now. Glanced over at Maho. Can you send it over Rhine then? Let's talk in person. Can you meet me at the lab? I'm all tied up right now. Can it wait till evening? You can play your H games later, man. Not bad. I lied about the H games. I'm actually busy at my job. Job? Well, I was lying to him too, so I didn't really have room to talk. Okay, where are you really? If you can't leave, I'll come to you. I just need to talk to you right now. Right. I really didn't want to tell you. I do a lot of dangerous work. Well, whatever, fine. Come to the address I'm about to give you. The location he gave me was still in Akihabara. It was less than 5 minutes away. I don't like this. Daru's doing shady stuff. Down an alley, a few turns off Main Strip. All the hustle and bustle of the crowd completely disappears. We were on the 7th floor of an old mixed-use building. We were in Akihabara, the center of Tokyo, in the middle of the day on Sunday. Still, the alleyway we'd come in seemed lonely and abandoned. There, we found the shop Daru had told us about. I got Orion. Oh, it's from Mayuri Nuka. Shopping with Luca. Do you want to come join us? I'll meet up later. Really? Where are you now? Akihabara. Then we should meet you in Akihabara once we're done shopping. No. Don't come to Akihabara under any circumstances. Why? Because I say so. Just wait for me. And if I don't contact you by evening... What happened? I'm fine. Don't worry. Okay. We'll wait until evening. See you later. There's a cute anime-style sign on the steel door that read Cosplay Media at Akihabara. We're open. Come on in. Mayuri. Just so wholesome. The wholesome 1-2 punch. Mayuri, BB. Emotes in the chat. Right? It's been a long time since we had a toot-through. The store was jammed, full of cosplay outfits. The wall near the entrance held the new arrival corner, popular cosplay sections, as well as cosplay wigs, ribbons, jewelry, and props. The other wall held the usual outfit section. The shoe section stocked with socks, schools, shoes, heels, and boots. Even further back, I could see rows of school swimsuits and competition swimming outfits. It looked like the place sold mainly to girls, but there clearly wasn't a location where women would feel comfortable. The other tenants in the building were all shady shops with names like Drops of the Spirit God Incorporated, Space Radio Receiver Sales, Flower Petal Video Project. You ever been here before? No. Last time we met, it was in a different building. Wasn't much better than this one, though. I see. I felt like I'd seen Daru's dark side. The shop was completely silent. There were no customers other than us. The thin man with long hair at the counter who looked like he worked there. Ben raised his head up from his magazine when we came in. To be honest, ever since I'd entered, I'd worried that someone would think I was up to something illegal. Anybody who saw me would think I was a pervert taking a middle school girl to a shady cosplay shop. Oh god. Hey, Okarine, over here. Daru appeared at the back of the shop. There'd been no sign of him a second ago. Oh god, indeed. Right? That's the thing. So, really quick, the running joke is that Maho, the small little girl, she's actually not, she's a petite woman. She's 21, but she looks like she's like 12. 13 maybe. Oh god, he's so sexy. If only you could have seen future Daru. Daru of the future. Alright, quick hydration break. Petite woman? Yes, very petite. Tres petit? Right? Alright. Continuing on. So Daru appeared from the back of the shop. There'd been no sign of him a second ago. Wait, Mahotan's with you too? Huh? Just stop calling me Mahotan? Why? It's cute. I feel like I'm being insulted. Forget that. Where did you come from, Daru? Man at the counter hadn't said anything. Meant they knew he was here. Come with me. Daru headed to the back of the store. Oh god. One of the rows of hanger racks holding idle cosplay outfits was pulled forward. Behind it I could see a curtain. Past the curtain was a tiny space that led to a door marked Staff Only. If the hanger rack hadn't been moved, I'd have no idea this was here. Like an old ninja mansion. Daru kind of looks like a cat. Or is it just me? Oh man, this is his bat cave for sure. And I thought the lab was his bat cave. Behind the door was a cramped office. All the anime. Look at all the anime. Well, no, the room itself may have been pretty big, but Daru looks like a sexy big genius. Pro gamer room. Exactly. He has everything. The darkness made it feel very cramped. It was honestly hard to breathe. 4 desks in the center surrounded by metal racks. The desks and floor were piled high with all manner of computers and peripherals. There were boxes and bags littered everywhere. I couldn't tell if there were trash or not. There were towers of magazines, games, plastic models, and figure boxes. The desk was covered in garbage, just like the one at the lab. Too dark to tell, but I was sure the figures he had on display were covered in dust. You need 6 monitors for anyway. I saw pretty big, but I thought it said pretty big butt. Well, he is a stocky man, so. Oh, this just came to mind, but what's the next game after this? That's a good question. There's some options. We'll talk about that when we get closer to the climactic final conclusion. But I do have some things lined up, which I think you're going to be excited for, Frollo. Need 6 monitors for anyway. Some displayed an image on the store. Evidently, it was footage from a security camera. Nice. Given the size of the store and the lack of customers, even 3 cameras would have been too many. Well, sit down, I guess. Oh my god, I'd have loved it if you just said, "That's a good question," and we're not reading. I thought about it. And then I was like, because I actually do have some things lined up. I've done it before, so. Pro streamer move. Ego 101. Dodge the question. No place to sit down. Make you a space. Dyro kicked aside the boxes on the floor to make room. Sat down 2 folding chairs. The deal with you in this shop. Kinda like the leader of us part-timers. Work for a lot of underground places like this. So sometimes, they let me use their offices like this. For your secret job? Good question. Ask the mods, and the mods are like, what? No. Pro streamer move. One of my greatest techniques. Yep. There was a lot more to Daru than I thought. All this stuff in here yours? Nope. I shared with the rest of the part-timers. I don't have enough money to buy all this stuff. Ah, so he shares it. Ego if he was a government official. That's a good question. Now any more questions? Yep. If I ever become a politician. That's so what I would have done. Or so he said, but who knew if that was true? It's from Kurisu. Now I'm just thinking if I was a politician. I probably would do it, not gonna lie. But you can trust me. What is it? Oh no, epic music is playing, right? It's my AI waifu. She's like, so, I hear you like to dodge questions. Oh no, not in the relationship. So what do you plan to change if you get elected? Good question, next. There's a really good answer to that. I'll tell you next. I'll tell you at the next meeting. You're still with Maho, right? Oh, yeah, we're together. Why? What's up? I just heard from Dr. Leskinen. The office in Walker City's been ransacked by someone. What? Just got a call from Maho's hotel. Someone raided it too. What did you say? The ceiling. Right? She's gone to a level beyond the ceiling. You should hear from Dr. Leskinen soon, but I wanted to tell you ASAP. Thanks, Kurisu. Daru and I are looking out for Maho, so don't worry. That's right, I'm counting on you guys. Bye. Oh, this isn't good. Her room was ransacked. This happened in the previous world line. Maho looked down and bit her lip. What I was afraid would happen. They're after Kurasu's laptop and hard drive. Huh? Seriously? Should probably move. I think this place is safe, though. Got a bad feeling. Intuition, you could call it. Got it. Oh, where's the laptop and hard drive? Daru sighed and grabbed a locked, fire-resistant case off one of the racks. He opened it. Is that where he hid it? Laptop was a deep red Japanese model, 12-inch LCD screen. Hard drive was American, from a brand known for equipping its drives with shock-resistant rubber cases. Let's take it and get out of here. A real gamer got figures around the desk. I wish. Right? And I'm looking, and technically I do have figures around my desk. I guess I'm a real gamer. I'm back. Welcome back, Frollo. Both Maho and Daru nodded silently. You haven't missed much. People tried to steal from Maho. We have what they wanted. Everyone's kind of in danger right now. Getting tense. As soon as we left the building, I could see a car coming down the empty alleyway. It's a big American RV. Oh no. Quickly hid ourselves in the shadow of another building. Intuition was right. The RV stopped in front of the building we just left. 3 men came out. Oh, they're tracking us. None of them were Japanese. All dressed in black suits, almost like MIBs. Whatever they weren't Akihabara tourists. That was close. Maho went pale when she saw the men go into the building. She seemed to be shaking a little too. This is like a movie. I can't believe it's real. How'd they find out about this place, though? Sure you didn't screw up somehow, Daru? Who do you think I am? A super hacker, right? Hacker, right. I make sure I didn't get caught. It's like a visual novel, right? It could be many things. Why can't it? Either that, or Maho and I were tailed. Don't scare me. They raided your office and hotel room in Marco City. I'm sure they've been watching you this whole time. Oh, right. Maho seemed to suddenly remember something. She took out her smartphone and made a call. Need to contact the professor. You tell him to hide somewhere for today. If we meet up with him, you could put him in danger. Maho nodded. Taro took Maho to Ferris Nian's home. It was on the top floor of a high-rise building in the center of Akihabara. If nothing else, it was sure to be more secure than the ancient building they'd just been in. Ferris welcomed the two of them, offering them food and a place to sleep. Daru returned alone to the Future Gadget Lab to meet up with Suzuha. The mere existence of this laptop could bring disaster. We should get rid of it. They're both calmed down. She started to talk to him about what they were going to do with Kurasu's computer. Didn't budge an inch. Usually he was an introvert who never pushed too hard for anything, but this time he was extremely stubborn. This is what I call a hot dude. And he's not even in his final form yet. Of course, so was Maho. I at least want to crack the password and see what's inside. Right now we can't do that, but no time for that. We should get rid of it now. The best thing would be to destroy it. Destroy it, but this is something Kurasu left us, you know? Thought you were a little more logical than this. I didn't think you were this cold. Maho's words made him flinch. Something bad had happened to him. That's how it seemed to her. It was easy to assume that it had something to do with Kurasu. She decided to ask him what she hadn't gotten to earlier, during the fuss this afternoon. Oh, I'm about to tell her about time travel. Seemed like you're hiding something about what happened to Kurisu. What I know doesn't matter. Maho could tell he wasn't going to share. If they hadn't been interrupted this afternoon, would he have told her? Anyway, what should we do with the computer? That computer isn't just something an old friend used to own anymore. It's at the center of an international power struggle. What kind of crazy conspiracy theory is this? You still think it's a conspiracy theory after what happened today? You saw those foreigners in black suits, didn't you? Your office and your hotel room were ransacked. Someone set fire to Kurisu's house. And then after that, your lab was visited by mysterious men claiming to be from the FBI. The attack at the hotel might have had something to do with this too. These impossible events keep happening one after another. It's not a coincidence. But still, an international power struggle? The whole thing just seemed like too much of a stretch for her. Trying to connect every single event was a trap that conspiracy theorists often fell into. But in fact, most things that happened didn't really mean anything. When she began to tell him that, what he said next surprised her. John Teeter's prophecy is going to come true now. John Teeter? Maho had never heard that name before. A time traveler from the year 2036 who appeared on American message boards 10 years ago. For a fact that he's real, I've met him myself. John Teeter says World War III will occur in 2015. The cause will be a time machine. You making fun of me? Being very serious. Wanted to know about Dr. Nakabachi, right? He's Kurisu's father. Possible that Kurisu may have been involved in the paper he wrote. What did you say? Maho had read Dr. Nakabachi's paper out of curiosity. Last summer, he proudly announced his paper on time travel to the entire world just before fleeing to Russia. The paper itself, however, was so poorly written that it was of no value whatsoever. I couldn't believe that Kurisu might have been involved in writing it. But what if this version was an inferior copy of an original that Kurisu wrote herself? Inside Kurisu's computer doesn't actually matter right now. What matters is that there are people who want it. Give me a second, I need to process all of this. Could what Rintaro was saying be true? She took a moment to think. Normally she wouldn't give something like this a second thought. What had been happening around her lately just wasn't normal. She couldn't outright deny it. Besides, she was nursing a conspiracy theory of her own. I also thought that someone might be after this computer. You're saying it's just so different than what I expected. Did you expect? But it might be about using Amadeus for military purposes, which also happened in a different world line. But not only is there time travel, but there's AI to train an elite force of super soldiers to win wars for America. So now, the two worst possible things are on the verge of happening. Military purposes. Ursa spent a lot of time at the psychophysiological lab. She said sometimes she'd been visited by people who looked like they didn't belong there at all. America, right? And our AI super soldiers. Just kidding. We don't have those. Yet. Just kidding. That she thought that they were from the Department of Defense. Amadeus kill someone? How? Well, for example, you could take the memories of a veteran pilot and copy them and use them to control drones. Next question, please. And remember what I said about medical applications? You mean copying memory data back into the brain? Yeah. If you could alter memory data and then send it back to the brain, you could make soldiers who didn't feel fear or who could carry out any kind of unethical mission without hesitation. That was like Kurisu had found proof that they were running experiments like that. Super soldiers. Hey, the US military aren't involved in researching Amadeus, are they? Of course not. Sure, you're just a scientist. You're not the head of the project. Dr. Leskinen wouldn't let the military get involved either. You're right. That happened in another world line. World line? What are you talking about? No, forget it. I'm overthinking things. It hadn't seemed like he'd really meant that. That really bothered her. She wanted to hear more about John Teeter, but he didn't tell her anything else. Since she couldn't crack the security of Kurisu's laptop and hard drive, it did Maho no good to carry them. Just like Rentaro said, those attackers scared her. So she decided she had no choice but to give them to him. He didn't tell her whether he was going to destroy them or not. Maho, so glad you're safe. She arrived at their office in Wako City. Dr. Leskinen was already there. He came over and gave her a big hug. Professor, you're hurting me. Oh, sorry. Heard that the office had been ransacked, but whatever had happened had already been cleaned up. Oh my god, I have no idea who this, but I hate him. Coincidentally, you're not the first person to say those exact words. Nor will you be the last. Did you clean up, Professor? It was ransacked, but only your and my things were here, so there wasn't a lot to begin with. I've left the rest in the hands of the police. 2 days had passed since the office had been ransacked. Maho had spent both of them at Ferris's home, and only today had she gotten in touch with Dr. Leskinen. Went to Wako City to get her things. They were both going back tomorrow, just as planned. That meant they were saying goodbye to this office. They still haven't caught the guy who did it, right? Yeah. It's been one thing after another since we came to Japan, hasn't it? Sure has. Two of them looked around the empty office. Been a busy 2 months. What do you think, Maho? Japan's your other homeland, right? What did you make of it? Can't wait to get back and start on my research. I feel like I've been doing nothing but putting reports together for the past 2 months. You're so serious, Maho. That, and I'm glad I was able to experience the place where Kurisu spent her last days. Maho? But she still hadn't figured out why Kurisu had died. Actually, she had even more questions now. Ooh, Maho's a Hafu? Poggers, yep. Actually, no. She's full Japanese. She's just born in America. Kurisu, I believe, is Halfers, which is Pog. If she were alive. Ah, I see. Indeed. Indeed. It bothered her to go home with so many questions left unanswered. If only Rentaro had told her everything he knew. To think of it. The thought suddenly occurred to Maho. Doing with Amadeus' tester. Of course she meant Okabe Rentaro. Both Maho and Leskinen were heading back to America. That meant that his time as a tester was over. That's right. For some reason, the professor was taking a moment to think it over. What there was to think about. Why not have him continue being our tester? Huh? Are you serious? It's a fact that speaking with Ntalho has caused Kurisu to react in new ways, correct? I'm planning on adding additional testers in the future, not just him. That's safe? From a security standpoint? And in America are too far apart. If something happens, we won't be able to deal with it. It'll be fine. I believe in Ntalho. About whether you believe in him or not. He stays on as a tester, just to be able to talk to him, you know? Well, I don't have anything to do with this. Are you sure about that? I'm sure. Then I'll take over dealing with Pentalho. That doesn't bother me. It still seemed like he wasn't telling her something. She was too embarrassed to question him further. Surprised her though, she was so focused on Rintaro. Seemed to have taken a real liking to him ever since they had first met. Did he simply like the guy, or was it because he was Kurasu's friend, or was it something else? She didn't know. The next day, Maho and Dr. Leskinen returned to America via Narita Airport, just like they'd planned. Taro had come to see them off. He was very surprised when Dr. Leskinen told them he could continue being a tester. And then, half a year passed. Damn! Time jump. Gehenna's stigma. Oh no! That's the place we were when World War III happened. The Russians were experimenting with time travel. Oh no. Oh no. I think we're in the bad timeline. Victor Kandra University's grounds were dead quiet. It was after 11 p.m. Some of the labs worked all night and into the morning, so the place wasn't completely abandoned. But compared to daytime, it was quiet. Lights in the halls were off. It was a little scary walking down them alone. Maho lived in the researchers' apartments next to the lab. She'd been thinking about so many things that night. Her head felt like it was going to explode. She looked out the window and realized that the lights were still on in the brain science lab. Dr. Leskinen must have been working late. She decided to put some coffee in a thermos and take it to him. Why am I doing so much research about time machines anyway? Ever since she'd come back from Japan in January, she spent all her free time on it. Even she had to admit she was getting obsessed. Of course, since this wasn't something she could research in public, and since she couldn't let it interfere with her real job, she had to do all of it on her own room at night. As a result, she was staying up late battling with physics textbooks, an unfamiliar subject for her. Exhaustion and lack of sleep were starting to get to her. Song's a bop, though. Oh yeah, so good is the music. The whole idea of a time machine was stupid. She still thought so. She was surprised at how desperate she was getting. This is all because of Okabe. What Okabe had said to her in Japan still stuck with her. It's possible that Kurisu may have been involved in the paper he wrote. Rintaro could have been lying or wrong or simply delusional. Part of her wanted to believe it was real. Of course, from what she'd seen of Dr. Nakabachi's paper, she didn't want to believe Kurisu was involved. It was just that bad. But what if this version was an inferior copy of an original that Kurisu wrote? She could have written it off as a slim possibility. Everything would have been so much easier. It was just like her, she thought, to be unable to do that. Find what Kurisu found. The desire was what drove her to action. The more research she did, the harder it seemed. It was so hard she was starting to lose faith in what she wanted to believe. Her usual complex started weighing down on her. Kurisu, I can't be you after all. Kurisu was her dear friend, but at the same time she was starting to feel jealous, frustrated, and hateful. When all those feelings started going around in her mind, there was no way she could focus on work. Time to chat with Dr. Leskinen for a little, then go to sleep. She headed over to the lab. Professor? Hey, Maho. Dr. Leskinen seemed surprised at her sudden visit, but he stood up from his chair and welcomed her. Brings you here at this hour? Time for kids to be in bed. Thank you, D-Gen. Hydrate. Posture check. No slouching here. Okay. Posture checked. Hydration complete.